I'd like to introduce Ian Campbell from SCIRT, who is going to talk to you about how some of your performance is going with the... So come on up, Ian. Thank you.
Thanks, Catherine. My name's Ian Campbell, as Catherine said, Executive General Manager of SCIRT, a member of the Charter Steering Group and the Performance Working Committee. I'm here tonight to give you a brief overview of the results to date from the Charter Assessment Tool on behalf of our Performance Working Group Chair, John Beckett, who's unable to make it tonight. Firstly, I'd just like to acknowledge the number of signatories who have taken the time to complete the tool, in some cases twice, with a number of the signatories also completing the exercise last year before it went online. While some of you have had to repeat it this year, it's been a useful exercise, and for the first time we're able to track improvements in areas over time, which is just fantastic. What we're looking at here in the graph are the overall results to date for this data based on 117 completed assessments between January and June 2015 from 106 signatories. Some of you have already had a look at the results section of the site, but for those of you that haven't, the green is where the signatories are saying that they are achieving the Charter goals and actions in that area. The blue is where they are developing, and the pink is where they're saying they need further assistance. The grey, of course, is where they feel it's not applicable to them. I've highlighted impairment, as you can see, as the area where the signatories, once again, similar to last year, are saying they need further assistance in particular. I'll talk about this shortly. Also of note here is the PPE section to the left of impairment. Signatories are reporting they're achieving the PPE requirements, with the top 4 questions achieved from the whole tool focused on PPE. Many are also advising that they're achieving the site safety, site induction and reporting requirements. The areas where organisations are developing their capabilities include leadership and fatigue in particular, as well as assessing worker competency and drugs and alcohol. To break it down further, this next graph shows just how much impairment stands out compared to other actions. As Graham mentioned earlier, impairment is the only section where less than 50% of signatories are rating themselves as achieving the Charter actions. And breaking that down even further, 30% of signatories are reporting they are meeting the Charter's requirements in fatigue management. This is where the Charter is here to help you. We've looked at these results, steering the Performance Working Group, and said, what can we do about this? We're putting a concerted effort into putting around fatigue in the coming weeks. We're also in the final stages of developing the Charter extranet. The sign-on area to share ideas, policies and templates will also be useful. For those signatories who indicated they needed help developing a fatigue management plan, this will be the first place to go. Impairment also covers drugs and alcohol on site, and this is also an area where signatories are indicating they need assistance, particularly around drug and alcohol testing. We'll be looking to do more in this space in the coming months. But right now we're focusing on promoting a range of initiatives out there in Canterbury around drugs and alcohol at work. Further to this, as Graham also mentioned earlier, we'll have an events calendar for any health and safety related events in Canterbury up on the Charter website later this month. Let us know if there's any relevant training or events and we'll add them. The other area where Charter signatories need the most support is with the provision of an employee assistance program. As you know, when you complete the tool, you're put into one of 10 categories of types of signatories: commercial construction, horizontal infrastructure, PMOs, insurer, and so on. This graph rates how many of those categories are performing in all actions. We know from previous results that, for instance, group home builders were asking for more support than insurers or horizontal infrastructure organisations. However, now we're able to start to compare the 2015 assessments with those from 2014. We have to remember that the 2015 assessments include new signatories and companies who didn't complete the tool last year. So They're not directly comparable, but some changes include group and home builders have reported improving their charter performance significantly from 47% last year to 67% achieved this year, which is a great result. They've also indicated that the areas they need further assistance have decreased from 18% last year to 9% this year. Labour hire organisations have reported improving their charter performance, again significantly from 56% last year to 64% this year. They've also indicated that the areas they need further assistance have decreased from 5% to 2% in the last year. This is also the real beauty of the tool. Not only do we get to have a unique look at where support is needed across the Charter's action, but over time we'll be able to track how signatories are performing. So well done. We hope to shortly be able to include the ability to divide the results based on company size as well. So I'll be around once this event finishes this evening. If anybody wants to discuss the tool, they can also talk to Craig Sengolo. Craig, where are you? Just down here. Our Secretariat, who's here tonight as well. It's now that time of the evening where we welcome our new signatories. As Graham mentioned earlier, we've seen a big increase in membership since March, and this is excellent news for us all. So without further ado, can I please ask the following people to come forward to officially sign the Charter on behalf of their organisations. First up, Ihaya Wipu from AGL Scaffolding and Rigging. Wayne Lamore from Asbestos Assessors New Zealand. Keith Patterson from Becca. I know you're not very far away, Keith. Victoria Mitchell from Canterbury Builders Limited. Jeff Root from Casa Construction. Colin Dupree from Catalyst Consulting Limited. Paul King from Graceworks Demolition and Recycling. James Holloway from Holloway Builders Limited. Andrew Marshall from HRS Construction. Did I mention Sam Fillmore from JFC Limited? Tony Joseph from Joseph and Associates Limited. Alistair Miles from Miles Construction Limited. And Tim Henson from North Star. Barry Wehi from New Zealand Mainco. Simon Granger from Penny Homes Christchurch Limited. Glenn Munro from Properly Plastered Limited. Grant McPherson from Southern Demolition and Salvage. Steve Bailey from Steve Bailey Consulting Limited. Andre Lovett from the Arts Centre of Christchurch. Dietmar Dyke, is it, from Urban Construction? Good, I got it right. Lance Wilson from Willbuilt Limited. Keen Mitchell from, is it Quesco or Cusco Limited? Mike Barnsley from Integrity Built. So we congratulate these. Well done, everybody. Before we finish, I'd also like to welcome our new endorsees, Park Health and Safety Partnership. This is the company Lawrence Waterman runs. Many of you have attended his sessions in April this year. Also MZEE and Certified Builders. So well done to those endorsees. Thanks again, everyone, for coming this evening. It's been highly informative. I think we've all got something to take away about the new legislation and how we can prepare. Special thanks again to our guests tonight. I'd like to once again thank Worksafe New Zealand and MB for paying for tonight's event. It's always good. Without their sponsorship, these events would not be able to go. Please stay for a drink and a bite to eat, catch up with your friends and colleagues from the industry, and we look forward to seeing you again at our next event on the 31st of August. Thank you.